After skipping the OnePlus 9T in global markets this year, the OnePlus 10 series means that hopefully we'll get to see some more upgrades and a great leap forward over the previous generation. With that in mind though, this is everything we know about the upcoming smartphones. Thanks for watching 9 to 5 Google here on YouTube. Remember to thumbs up, hit subscribe, and then tap the bell icon to be notified about all our future uploads. Hardcore OnePlus fans would definitely argue that the firm is on a downward spiral, but the sales figures in recent years do actually say the opposite. We're definitely more than hit to set a bump in the road though, courtesy of that very divisive merger between OnePlus and Oppo hardware and software teams. But if there's one thing that OnePlus has done well in recent years, it has to be smartphone design. This time around we're unsure just how the OnePlus 10 series will actually fit into the mould, because we're yet to see any sign of it at this stage, so yet, disappointingly, we're going to have to focus on the Pro in this roundup. Renders of the proposed OnePlus 10 Pro were shared online, but we're yet to see just what that standard model will bring to the table. There is a refresh though of the design seen on the OnePlus 9 Pro on the 10 Pro, with some definite inspiration drawn from the Samsung Galaxy S21 series, courtesy of a chassis-infused camera module. It's worth noting the cameras on those initial renders definitely resemble a stovetop with large lens holes and an upper left positioning at the rear. OnePlus is also set to retain soft curves at this rear panel, with a curved display as well, also retaining an upper left punch hole, which does circumvent the recent industry standard of that central selfie camera cutout. It's also clear that for 2021, OnePlus is tweaking the design formula rather than trying to reinvent things, and OnLeak's early renders more than indicate that that will be the case this time around. It's also suggested that the OnePlus 10 Pro will come in a revised alpine green sort of colour, alongside a stealthy matte black option. It is unclear though if we'll see region and storage specific colour options this time around, which has been the case in the past. If we follow the established track record of OnePlus though, we can expect the 10 series to be a true out and out flagship. A partial list of specifications also suggests this is going to be true. The display is said to be a 6.7 inch QHD Plus LPTO AMOLED panel at 120Hz, the same size and refresh rate as the OnePlus 9 Pro. One downside here is the usage again of a curved panel, which many fans out there dislike, but while there is no explicit confirmation, we do expect OnePlus to continue with an in-display fingerprint scanner with the OnePlus 10 Pro. Under the hood, you can expect up to 12GB of RAM with up to 256GB of UFS 3.1 storage, and that will be paired with the next generation Qualcomm Snapdragon flagship processor. And thanks to a recent launch, we know that the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 processor is set to provide a notable jump over the Snapdragon 888 and the 888 Plus from 2021. This rumour also suggests that the OnePlus 10 Pro is going to be upping the battery capacity to 5000 mAh, with even faster battery charging than ever before also packed in. We could see 80 watt wired charging, which would no doubt improve upon the super fast 65 watt speeds seen on the OnePlus 9 Pro. Wireless charging though is set to remain at 50 watts via a compatible charger. Unfortunately though, no evidence has been shared to confirm the OnePlus 10's internals, but we would expect to see a similar standard and Pro setup as used in the previous years, so it's likely that many of those core internals will remain the same, with downgrades in a few areas in things such as the battery and the camera. However, we're not sure at this stage. It's definitely worth noting that the OnePlus 10 and OnePlus 10 Pro are going to be launching with Android 12 pre-installed. But for anyone unaware, earlier in 2021 we saw OnePlus CEO Pete Lau confirm the merger between the software teams of OnePlus and Oppo. Lau referred to this move as the OnePlus 2.0 phase. Sadly, this move will undoubtedly be a concern for many long-time OnePlus fans. And since that announcement, we've actually seen the official release of OxygenOS 12 based upon Android 12 atop of ColorOS from Oppo. OxygenOS is now just a skin for ColorOS rather than its own individual build, and is further from the clean, almost pixel-like experience than it ever has been before. It's hard to deny that we've seen a fairly slow downward spiral from what was once one of the best alternative versions of Android out there. A number of changes that you probably noticed right away include things such as app icons, the font used, animations, and a general shift towards the ColorOS design and operational methodology. Popular OxygenOS features are still retained though, such as Zen mode with enhancements to the OnePlus Shelf, the OnePlus Notes, and even the Canvas AOD customization options. In essence, the OnePlus 10 series is going to launch with a version of Oxygen OS that many fans will just not recognise. Whether it's too much of a departure from the convention will be up to you. Oxygen OS 12 though is not completely terrible, it's just completely different to what you're used to. Despite the hype and expectations surrounding the Hasselblad partnership announced alongside the OnePlus 9 series, it's easy to say that we didn't get the outright flagship camera that we had hoped for. That's not to say the camera on the OnePlus 9 and 9 Pro was bad, it just wasn't quite what we expected it to be. The OnePlus 10 series is not bringing such a big overhaul, but more of a fine-tuning with a triple camera setup retained at the rear. Of course, on the OnePlus 10 Pro we'll see a new physical layout, but a familiar 48 megapixel main sensor, 50 megapixel ultra-wide and 8 megapixel telephoto zoom lens setup. It seems that the 2 megapixel monochrome sensor could be ditched this time around, but the selfie camera is set to take a major step up to 32 megapixels, which doubles the resolution of the OnePlus 9 Pro's selfie camera. We're also expecting to see some more camera UI tweaks and tuning to hammer home that Hasselblad partnership. It's highly likely that we'll see more features and functions based upon existing Hasselblad cameras and Hasselblad cameras of the past, such as the X-Pan mode that was added to the OnePlus 9 series via an OTA update. As for release date and availability, thanks to CEO Pete Lau, we know that at the very least the OnePlus 10 Pro is set to be unveiled earlier than ever before. There was no mention though of the standard OnePlus 10, but it could be that there's a focus is going to be solely this year on that flagship device, which some might argue has always been the case. January 2022 is the proposed launch timeframe, but it looks as though that will only apply to China. Another tidbit from earlier in the year indicates that global markets will see the OnePlus 10 and 10 Pro in or around March or April 2022. It seems like a short exclusivity period will apply to China before we get to see this OnePlus 10 series elsewhere. With OnePlus now having closer ties to Oppo, this follows Oppo's strategies and release patterns of yesteryear. Disappointingly though, we simply have no information on the potential price point for the OnePlus 10 or 10 Pro. It's no great secret though that we've seen OnePlus devices kind of balloon in price in recent years and skyrocket towards that $1,000 barrier. The entry-level OnePlus 9 Pro was priced at $969, and we'd expect the OnePlus 10 Pro to be in or around this ballpark figure. That said, we simply can't say for certain at this stage. So that's everything we know about the OnePlus 10 series so far, maybe a little bit heavy on the Pro side of things, but we want to open up the floor to you. What beyond the leaks and even including these leaks would you like to see come launch day, which looks to be earlier than ever before? We're now on a countdown to as yet unknown release date, when we'll probably get to see the OnePlus 10 and hopefully the 10 Pro in the flesh for the first time. Be sure to let us know down in the comment sections below what you're hoping for or not hoping for. But until next time, this is Damon with 9to5 Google saying thanks for watching, and I will speak to you later.